Hello and welcome. Sansevieria, or snake plant, prefers places with light shades, well-drained and sandy soils, and a very high humidity. The easiest number one propagation method is by digging out the plant shoots, which are developing on the creeping rootstocks or snake plant rhizomes that lie on the soil surface and develop from the mother plant. You can find them around the main plant. You will need a wide, but not very deep, pot with some drainage holes at the bottom. Mix black soil or garden soil with the same amount of sand to provide good drainage. It is really important to make the water drain out of the pot almost immediately in case of water stagnation, which will result in a very high chance of rotting. Scientific studies show that the Sansevieria plant can improve the quality of air by removing air pollutants such as dioxin, formaldehyde, and many more. I don't know how effective a snake plant air filtration is and what amount of air pollutants it is removing, but I have decided to plant more around the house. Anyways, the plant is looking pretty attractive, and it is a very good decoration for interior and exterior gardens, especially if you live in a tropical climate. Plant shoots with or without rhizomes can be planted directly into the soil. If the root part is very long, make it shorter, but do not throw away the cut pieces of rhizome. Instead, place them inside the soil between the other shoots. With favorable conditions, they might develop new shoots. If you have a part of a rhizome that's developing a new shoot, plant it too. There is a very high chance that it will grow to an adult plant. Plant it by placing the shoot above the surface. If you have shoots with no roots, you can still plant it. The roots will grow very fast, and you have a good chance to get an independent snake plant very soon. Plant it like the others, leaving most of the green part above the surface. If you have shoots with very long leaves, it will be wise to cut down part of the leaf, because in the beginning of the plant growing process, big leaves will need more nutrients that only the rhizome can provide. This imbalance will slow the growing process. By cutting down, I can eliminate the imbalance and speed up the growing process. I am planting them all together to create a community phenomenon. In a natural habitat, plants are not separated from each other by walls of a pot. Instead, they are competing with each other for water and nutrients. Big plants take up more water, and smaller ones have less chance of rotting. And the competition for nutrients forces smaller plants to grow root systems faster so they can get enough water and minerals. So keep planting them 4 to 5 centimeters apart. When I see that they are strong enough to be alone in a separate pot, I will transfer them into a bigger container. But now, I need to add a bit more sand for good air circulation and mulch to the pot. As you can see here, I'm adding sand, and soon I'll be adding some mulch. For mulch, you can use any material such as straw, wood chips, but in this case, I'm going to use a natural mulch to mimic a natural snake plant habitat, which will be fallen needles of Australian pine. As you can see here, the natural habitat, there are many fallen needles of Australian pine, and it is often used as mulch in a natural habitat. So make sure that you try to mimic a natural habitat or use a natural mulch. Break them down into smaller pieces and place them around the shoots. This mulching will help support higher humidity around the young shoots and will speed up the rooting process. So as you can see here, I'm doing everything I can, trying to cover as much area as I can all around the shoots. Make sure to water it well after that. This method is also really good, but there's also another method, the second way, and it's leaf cutting. By using leaf cutting to propagate, you can actually get as many plants as you want. But this method is much more time consuming compared to the last one. You'll have to be very patient, and it is not suitable for variegated varieties. Leaf pieces with yellow bands at the margins produce solid green-leaved plants. Use the rhizome shoot propagation method for variegated varieties. So as you can see here, cut the leaf 10 to 15 centimeters long, approximately the length of your hand, and plant them approximately 5 centimeters deep and 5 centimeters apart to create the same community phenomenon as I told you before. Use the same mix of garden soil and sand combined. You may use a growth hormone if you wish, but in case of Sansevieria, you don't really need to, since it has a lot of its own growing hormones, much like aloe vera does. With high humidity and good soil air ventilation, roots will develop in about 2 weeks. To maintain higher humidity, mulch the pot again with the same material. So as you can see here, I'm placing the leaves 5 centimeters apart and 5 centimeters deep. And I'm placing them all together in one big pot in order to create the community phenomenon, much like how they are in the natural habitat. So once you're done doing this, you can mulch again. I am going to use Australian pine. Once I'm done doing this, I'm going to get more Australian pine and continue mulching. As a reminder, mulching does maintain air humidity, which is very vital for Sansevieria since it loves high humidity. So try to cover as much area as you can. Water them regularly and place the pot in light shade. When you get new shoots, they will grow to be there on their own without the help of others. And once this happens, separate them from the community into individual pots. So here I am done mulching, and now I'm going to water them to ensure that they get enough water, they have enough mulch, they have enough humidity, and the water is also draining out of the bottom of the pot. So make sure you get that. The drainage will prevent water stagnation, which will prevent rotting. The last method is a bit more time consuming than the second, but just place cut pieces of leaves into a glass of water. Cut them 10 to 15 centimeters apart, and I put them approximately 5 centimeters deep in the water, no more, no less. The roots will develop on the border of air and water, and for that reason, we don't need lots of water. You may use a root hormone again if you wish, but it is not needed. Place them in a shady place for 2 to 3 weeks. When the roots will grow big enough, plant them like in the second method until the young shoots spike out. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your comments and questions below, and don't forget to subscribe.